Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a review on the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. I actually almost said Modern Renaissance and I'm like, girl, get with the program here. That was like 2 years ago. But yes, this is the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It is $42 and I did buy it off the Anastasia Beverly Hills website. So I did purchase this with my own money. I'm not big enough yet to get PR from Anastasia. Unless you want to. Hit me up, girl, please, Narvina, somebody. Anyways, I don't think I have much to say. I will go ahead and do this look for you guys. It's kind of a rosy sort of halo eye, and I will walk you guys through how I got that with this palette and this palette only. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them down below, and I will, of course, try to answer them to the best of my ability. But let's go ahead and get into the video. Let's go ahead and start with swatches so I know what I'm getting into. So I'm going to do them on my arm, which I know I suck at. And I'm going to do the top row and then the bottom row because I probably can't fit them all on my hand. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so I lied. I can most likely fit all swatches on my arm. So this is the first row. From here over, that is Tempera, Glistening, Orange Soda, Rose Pink, Sultry, Bronze, and Mulberry. And I'll just do the rest of the other row next to that. Okay, and this is the entire palette. And then from Mulberry over, you will have Dusty Rose, Fairy, Burnt Orange, Sienna, Rustic, Cypress Umber, and Noir, which is the black. These tones, well, not that you can see that, but these tones are my tones, if you couldn't tell by my rosy hair. I really like this palette just by the swatch, but let's see how it applies on the eyes because we know that Anastasia unfortunately does not have a good rep for their palettes sometimes for blendability. Okay, and then this is the exterior packaging. It's kind of like a mustardy kind of color. I wouldn't know how to describe this. I ultimately think of like baby puke brown, like the eyeshadow color, you know, that I think of when I see this. You know, I was kind of maybe expecting like red packaging or something like that, especially for something, you know, that's soft glam. I don't know. I thought something more glamorous than this, but it's nice. You know, you will stain it over time because all Anastasia palettes get stained over time because of their sort of fabric. Figured we would go ahead and compare this to the Modern Renaissance palette, which is on the bottom. And the Modern Renaissance has that nice rosy coloring, which honestly I feel like is more appropriate for the shades in Soft Glam because it does seem a lot more rosy. Now, my Modern Renaissance is definitely beat up, as you can tell. I definitely have used this palette a lot. Has a lot more of those red tones in there, which I really do like, but aren't as wearable. I think the Soft Glam palette is going to be overall a lot more wearable and neutral, but there are actually some repeat shades that I did figure I would mention. I think a lot of people have covered that as well. They did have a repeat Cypress Umber, which I will go ahead and just swatch comparison because I do want to make sure that they're the same shade. So that's the dark brown, and then they actually have Tempera again, which is just that kind of matte cream shade, which again, yes, they're the same color. And then what was the other one? I think they have Burnt Orange. And then Burnt Orange again. The repeat shades are all the same color. They're not like named the same, but not the same color. So that is good because I know some brands have done that before, which is not good. Tart. So yeah, let's go ahead and see if the formula matches up to the Modern Renaissance palette. So for starters, I'm going to go ahead and go all over my eye with Tempera. And I'm just going to take the brush that the palette comes with and dip into there. And there is a little bit of kickback, which I know people are going to be sensitive of because of subculture. And we're all going to be very wary of it, I'm sure. But, you know, like I said in previous videos, I don't mind kickback as long as the shadow blends. And this I'm kind of just laying on sloppily. I don't care exactly how it looks. I did already prime my eyes with MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and I did set that with my face powder. Then I'm going to go ahead and take like a little bit more of Tempera under my eyebrow. I haven't really been doing a matte eyebrow highlight in a while. I've been usually doing shimmery with the highlight that I use on my cheeks, but I'm going to go ahead and place that right under my eyebrow just to see if it'll give that little pop. I actually really like that as an eyebrow highlight. That is really pretty. And then in my crease, kind of as my transition shade, I'm going to go ahead and with Dusty Rose, I'm again just going to take the brush that the palette came with, or that came with the palette, and put that all over my crease. I want to do something a little bit more purple today, maybe something to kind of match the rosiness in my hair. My hair definitely has faded a lot since I originally did it. If you look back on my channel, just a few videos, you'll see that I had really bright dark purple hair and it's faded over time. I'm a natural blonde, so my blonde is coming back out, which is nice. Okay, and I took it a little bit too high in my inner corner area, so I'm just taking a clean brush and blending this out. This brush is clean, it's just stained. Alright, so that is my crease shade. I just have that shade placed in my crease really. Kind of took it high. I do have a lot of space between my crease and my eyebrow, so I try to take my crease shades a little bit higher just to fill that space up. Is blending so far. I feel like I have just a little bit of difficulty, but that might just be me. And to sort of deepen things up, I'm going to take Cypress Umber into my outer corner and kind of blend it into my crease as well. And the brush I'm using is the Wet n Wild crease brush. I think I'm actually going to make this into a halo eye kind of look, so I'm going to take it into the inner corner as well. I think I'm going to need a little bit more targeted of a brush. I'm going to take my Morphe E36 and go into the inner corner. So I placed it in the inner corner with the E36 and I'm just blending it out with the Morphe, or not Morphe, Wet n Wild crease brush. I will say that this shade does seem to have a little harder time blending. I'm going to take this Morphe brush with Tempera on it and kind of just try and blend it all out. Maybe Cypress Umber was too dark for this. I'm going to take Rustic as well and just kind of build up that kind of outer and inner corner. So that's what the eye looks like with that outer and inner corner build up. It looks really pretty. So what I'm basically doing is just placing the darker shade with the small brush and blending it out with a fluffier brush. I haven't tried this technique before with a halo eye, but it kind of works. I think Cypress Umber is a little bit harder to blend. Okay, so I really, really, really like how this looks so far. Just a basic kind of halo eye platform, or whatever you call it. So I'm thinking either of those two shimmer shades, and those are Rose Pink and Sultry. Rose Pink is the lighter one, and I think I'm going to go in with Rose Pink on the center of the lid. And as I usually do with my halo eyes, I usually take a kind of flat shadow brush. This one is a really old one from Coastal Scents, and I'll just pick up the shade, which there is a bit of kick up for that one, so probably going to be some fallout, so I am going to dampen it and not risk placing it on my eye first. And I usually just use my Mario Badescu spray. So funny because I have Fix Plus, I just choose not to use it. You know, I kind of want something brighter to contrast a little bit. I think I'm going to take that shade Glistening, which is this shade right here, and try and use that as well. Kind of more in the center of the center. And just going to kind of build and blend the shades now. I'm only going to build with Rustic because I don't want to go too dark with Cypress Umber. Alright, so I think that does that for the top part of the eye, which I think is really pretty. I'm going to go ahead and kind of just repeat what I did on the top part of my lid, on my lower, really Bear? Please ignore my brother's dog barking, but on my lower lash line, I'm going to go ahead and just blend Dusty Rose all over the lower lash line and take Rustic and Cypress Umber just on the outer corner a little bit. I'm not going to halo the lower lash line. I'm going to go ahead and take that glistening shade on my inner corner as well. Just kind of right there. I think it would be actually really pretty if I added a little bit of my highlight on my inner corner. And the highlight I'm wearing today is the Becca Vanilla Quartz. And it's the limited edition one that I had to get. I'm going to take a little bit of that as well. It has a little bit of a pink tint in it, which I wasn't expecting. But it would look really nice with this look. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. This looks really pretty with my hair. I like it. I'm gonna go add some lipstick and mascara and all that, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I went ahead and put on some mascara. I didn't do lashes today. I didn't feel like I needed it. I used the Benefit BadGal mascara, which has kind of been my go-to lately. And then I used the Jeffree Star Lip Ammo in Androgyny. This comes from his Lovesick collection, which he just released, and I did a review on that as well. I did swatch all the lipsticks too. I really like the kind of monochromatic thing going on. The very rosy, purpley tones. So I I dig this look, and I think I dig this palette. Let me zoom you out so we can talk, not so close to each other. Alrighty guys, so I think that the shades that I used today especially are really good. I think this entire palette so far looks like it's going to be very equivalent to the Modern Renaissance formula. If you know that formula and you like it, I think this is close to it. It's not going to be another subculture disaster as we've all kind of experienced. These tones are very similar to like Naked 3 kind of palette tones, very rosy, a little on the warm side, but not too much, not very red like the Modern Renaissance, which was nice, but again, I think this is actually more wearable than Modern Renaissance 100%. I see myself getting a lot more use out of this palette and a lot more shades out of this palette than I do the Modern Renaissance or the Subculture or Prism even. I really do like this palette. It's $42. I think it's kind of just right there in the middle for average palette prices nowadays. There are definitely brands that are coming for these bigger brands though, so you know, this probably will be duped out pretty soon here as well. You never really know nowadays. Actually, if you're interested, I'm doing a video for the new Hush palettes, or not so new, but the Hush Bad Habit palettes that you can get on Hush's website that are basically blatant dupes for some of the Anastasia palettes. So if you guys want to see that, that'll be coming up in a couple of days actually. I think these shadows are very beginner friendly, very wearable. I think that if you were to get this and wanted something very work appropriate or school appropriate, this would definitely be a good palette. I don't think that any of these shades are too out of the box. I think that they're all perfectly fine and very natural shades. Out of all of the existing Anastasia palettes that you can buy right now, I would say that Soft Glam is probably the most wearable, the most usable, and the most practical. So, good job, Anastasia. I'm proud of you. This palette brings me hope. But anyways, guys, I think that kind of sums up my thoughts. I hope you guys like the look, swatches, review, all of that. Of course, thank you so much for watching. If you like me or you like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.